Hey everyone, how we doing? I hope everybody had a good holiday. I did. Quiet, nice. And back at it in the garage. Did some work yesterday, and give you a little walk around and kind of show you what's going on. I picked up this Simplicity tractor. Actually, somebody approached me on it. They want to clean their garage out for the winter. It's a Simplicity Broadmoor. Nice tractor. It's hydrostatic. It's got the foot control for forward and reverse. And it came with a bagger and a mower deck, smaller deck. I think it's a 38-inch deck, but it also came with wheel weights, chains, and that snowblower that's sitting right there. So I asked the guy if there's anything wrong with it. Oh no, it's pretty good. And we started it up. As soon as he started up, the tractor was shaking like a bastard at an idle, and it's a V-twin, so I knew something was up. And pulled the plugs, and no compression on one side. So, make a long story short, I picked the tractor up for $100, which is, even just for parts would have been fine. Sell off the snowblower or whatnot. But we pulled the head off on there, and we came to the conclusion that one of the pistons were no longer connected to the crankshaft. It could be a problem. So I took a piece of wood. Actually, while it was still in there, I took my hot melt glue gun, put some glue on the end of it, and stuck it to that broken piston, wait for it to cure, and I pulled it right out. The reason being I went through that is I just wanted to kind of inspect the inside of it. If I saw the inside was all busted up, I wouldn't have bothered any further. Either sold the tractor as is for parts, or found another motor for it. But it actually looked pretty good. I didn't see anything. I wasn't leaking any oil, didn't punch any holes in the case or anything. So I pulled the motor out, flipped it over, and pulled the bottom off of it. And that's what you kind of see for hamburger for what's left of that connecting rod. And of course I popped the other side out, and you can see all the scoring on the piston there. And that is because it threw debris on that side. The both sleeves actually look pretty good. I will run a hone through it and kind of clean it up with some stones. The light's not going to show you anything, but and the crank looks pretty good. So between some used parts on eBay and some new parts from Jack's Small Engine, I think we're in it for about $130. See if we can put the engine back together. So that's one item we got going on. I worked on that Toro that I had tore apart. Yeah, there's where the mice are hiding. Nice. Put the transmission back together in this thing, got it all buttoned back up together, and that had a bad impeller, the front pulley that drives the auger. Toro uses a impeller, a bushing rather, instead of a bearing. It's a very shit setup. So that failed on me, and I'm going to come up with a different solution for that. I'm going to do a separate video on it, because I think a lot of people run into them. Give you for example back here. There's a couple more dead Toros, and they all seem to have the same issue. There's a bushing right here, like a round ball instead of a bearing, and they always fail. You can see I stole the one off of this one, or I went to go fix it, and it wasn't worth fixing. That one's bad. There's another one up here. I think I stole the same thing off of. Yeah, that one's missing too. So I'm gonna try to come up with a different scenario for fixing these things instead of just buying the same parts over again. I'm gonna go with a regular roller bearing that's sealed on both sides. A couple more showed up. Another one showed up. Free one from the neighbor. Old one. Old MTD. They're worth about $150. Cleaned up the old ones. That Toro is actually a nice machine though. The wheels change locations. And this little part's for Jeff rather, made a, what do we call him? James, Freddie, or Jeff? Let us know, Jeff. He was talking about the trikes that I was building. The bikes I was building. And he said, you probably do pretty good with making one of those old Harley bicycle when they first started out. And I said to him, you know what? I actually have some victims in here that I kind of had that general plan to, and this is one of them right here. I'm not going to pull it out, but you could see it's an old Schwinn Actually, no, I think it's a Sears Starliner or something like that it was called. At the time it was all chrome, and I believe it's supposed to have a gas tank or something up on top of it. But it's got the Springer seat. It's got a kind of sort of Springer front end set up on it. That bike's in the way. You can kind of see the spring up there. And I had this motor laying around, which kind of has that same kind of look as those old ones. I'm not sure what the horsepower is. It can't be very much because it's very small. Probably 3.5 horse. And this guy is it's a REO. Not sure of the year. It says something on the pull start. It's got compression. Somebody gave this to me a while ago too. It says oil is each time mower is used. So it's probably on a real mower from the 40s or the 50s. It has that kind of patina to it, you know. So I have a feeling that will be my motor. What I like about it is on the drive side of it, it has a gear reduction. I have a feeling it's probably 2 to 1. So it already knocks the speed down, so you don't have to worry about trying to get such a large sprocket on the back wheel or whatever my drive is. It's already got the gear reduction built into it. And it's a flathead 4-stroke, so they have a pretty good sound to them when they're thumping along, you know. So that's kind of a someday project too. While we're in here, I might as well look at a couple of other attempts at different things. This is one of the old real Schwinn beach cruiser bikes, and it actually came with this little kicker motor on it. What's this thing got on it? I can put some light on you guys, right? There we go. That thing is. It's like a WEN or TML displacement, 34 cc's. I already had it running and rode it around, and it's like 15 miles an hour, 20 miles an hour if you're lucky. But it's just the ones that drive on the tire with a basically a rolled rub wheel that just drops down the tire and drives it. And then a while ago, another lost project is I actually picked one of those motors up. It's kind of the same deal. It's the same style motor right there. You know, it's hard to see with all this junk in the way, but it's on one of those fold-up bikes. There's another one in front of it. And my thought was I was trying to make the world's smallest portable motorcycle, I guess. And again, it's kind of the same thing. It did run okay. 20 miles an hour they probably go. And the problem is with those is the kicker wheels, if they get wet at all, they just start spinning like crazy. So you have to go through trying to get a lot of pressure on the front tire to get them to drive. Yeah, they're old junk in here. Someday I'll do a video on this guy. This is a 67 Plymouth Satellite convertible. I've had it for 27 years, something like that. When I first bought it, I'll drop it. I'll do a story on that someday. What else you got in here? I've got a bunch of old outboards. You're way into that stuff. There's 3 or 4 of them up there. I don't know what you can see. They're not worth much, but they got a neat look to them. A couple more of them on. Here's an older one here too. I go to yard sales and I can't help myself. I just kind of, wherever I see that stuff, I grab it. Oh, and there's another motor down here. Never forget, it's on this big old pump. There's the Briggs. This one's a little bit more substantial, weight-wise. But it's attached to like a big old pump. That looks probably even older than the other motor there. old rope start you gotta wrap around it. It's got a tag on it. Just a name of somebody who owned it. But that's got kind of a neat look to it too, you know? There's a little tag down in there. Name of the pump. Glass. It's got a glass fuel bowl on it. So I'll pop the pump off of there. I could probably use that for one of those projects too. Either this motor or the other motor. I like this motor a little bit better because I think it's lighter. Probably has about the same amount of power. But someday. Thanks, guys. Trying to just get caught up on some of these ones that I acquire. The Westy's been running. We can pull that out of the garage and see if we can get some other stuff done. It's running pretty good though. I tore the insides right out of this thing, the dash and everything, to get, believe it or not, the gas gauge to work, and I went through everything. The only thing I didn't get to work was the gas gauge. I took a switch out of the other one. This one wasn't working. So this is out of a Eurovan. The positions are different, but it does work and have the 3 speeds on it. So we're gonna go with that. Right now I have the heat and the AC fighting each other. The AC's on in the back and the heat's on in the front. And the heat's winning. I used, while I was in here, I was doing some cleaning, especially like up in the dash. Mice were, as I said, all over this thing. I'll give you an example. This was the radio that was in it. And if you look on top of that, you see all that stuff? That's just the path where the mice were running back and forth over it, so you can kind of see how infested this thing was. But fortunately, they didn't get up into the vents up in there. All the vents were closed, so the mice weren't actually in the vents. So I cleaned I had everything off. Everything was apart, even the gauges I had out of it. Kind of cleaned up all inside here, just to try to make it smell better. And it did. Those cabinets were all nasty. I tried a couple of different things. See, like, even up in here, all the crap that's still coming out of there, all the confetti that's got a nest up in there. See what's leaking down the back, so you know when I pop that stuff down, it's gonna be a mess. I tried a couple of different things. It's got rear heat. To clean them up, everything from like brake cleaner to, you know, anything like really harsh. 2 things that had worked for me in the past before. Kelsey's Bleach White, the tire cleaner. See if I got that hanging. Actually, I think I used it all up. I gotta get another one. And then I followed that up with Febreze to get rid of the smell afterwards. But as far as like the heavy stains, this is what I used, and it works really good. I got a visitor, so I'm gonna go cut this one short. All right, guys, take care.